What's up guys, AJ here. Hey, what's up guys, AJ here. What's up guys, AJ here. What's up guys? My name is AJ Mida. What's up guys, AJ here. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to get over your fear of prospecting. There's really only two reasons why you'd be afraid of prospecting. The first one is going to be confidence. You're just not confident of what you're going to say when you get on the phone with a prospect. Or maybe you know what to say when you get on the phone with a prospect, but once you actually get the appointment, you're afraid to actually go on the appointment. So I want you to think about this. If that's you, you're just afraid of what to say once you get on the appointment, or if you don't know what to say initially on the phone, well, there's a few things that you can do. The first one is practice your scripts. Get a role play partner. This is absolutely key. This was one of the essential ingredients to my success. Every single day for at least 15 minutes, I was on the phone right before my prospecting session with a role play partner, practicing my scripts. As soon as I was done, typically this was about 8 o'clock, I'd be on to my prospecting session. There was no time in between. I was sharing this with an agent yesterday. Make the decision now, make the decision today that prospecting is just what you do. It's part of your job. That way, every single day when you go to pick up the phone, it's not deciding, oh, am I gonna make my calls today? No, it's already done. You have a routine. You have a role play partner, accountability partner, and you roll right into your call session. It's not a decision that you should be making every single day. It's just a decision that you make now and you take action on it every single day. So number two, rejection. If you're just getting into prospecting the first time, or if you've been doing it a while, you know rejection is a real thing, right? You know that fear of rejection may stop you from taking action. Well, hey guys, I don't want that to be you. So there are some things that you can do to overcome rejection, like creating a strong mindset by reading great books, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, having a big why, different things that I coach on. But just know when you're door knocking, rejection is going to sting a little bit more regardless. You're face to face with the person as opposed to being on the phone. Of course, anytime that you get rejected face to face, it's gonna hurt a little bit more. But just know that once you build the strong mindset, once you develop a thick skin for rejection, once you have this why inside your mind of why you're doing this, then that rejection will eventually just really completely go away. It's like building a muscle. The more you build the muscle of being able to handle rejection, the more rejection you can take. Does that make sense? So by now you're probably thinking, well, this whole idea of door knocking for expireds isn't sounding that great. You're telling me it's less efficient, and you're telling me that I'm going to face more rejection potentially, or at least rejection that stings more. Yeah, those things are true, and it's my personal opinion you should be calling over door knocking when it comes to expireds especially. But if you want to door knock, I have some great news for you. Hardly anyone else is doing it because of the first two reasons that I just gave you. They're afraid of the rejection. They don't want to go through all the extra effort that it takes to actually drive to the house, walk up to the door. I mean, what if it's raining out? What if it could rain? What if it's too cold? What if it's too hot? There's so many excuses people will make of why they won't door knock. So your competition at the door will be next to nothing. Honestly, I'd be surprised if the house that you're knocking on that just became an expired that morning, I would be surprised if there was one other agent that knocked on that door that day. Now, of course, it's going to be market dependent. Maybe there's some little spots around the US where it's kind of just like a lot of competition for expireds and there's a lot of people door knocking, but that is extremely rare. That would not be the normal. So let's talk about some benefits to door knocking. Of course, a benefit's going to be you're face to face. You can do a better job presenting yourself and your services. And on the flip side of that rejection piece, people will typically be nicer when you're face to face with them, because at the same time, it's harder to be rude when you're face to face with a person. So you'll probably face even less rejection, and the rejection won't be as extreme as it would be on the phone, but you will feel it a little more because you are face to face. But from what I've seen, typically speaking, people are a little bit more friendly when door knocking. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a strategy that I use to help me accomplish my goals and dreams. All right, so let's dive in. So the simple strategy that I use is simply what I call writing a letter to myself. Now this strategy is so simple, you might just, gloss over this video and skip to the next one, but I'm telling you, do not do that, because this simple strategy could just change your life. So what you're going to want to do is take some time away from the day-to-day grind and actually plan out what you want out of life. You see, what I found is most people really spend more time planning their vacations than they do their life. And let me ask you, what's more important, your life or the next vacation that you're gonna go on? You know, obviously the answer is your life. And it's so funny how, you know, we plan more for our vacations than we do on our goals and our dreams. And a lot of times, because we don't plan, we climb this ladder only to find out that it's on the wrong wall, right? We're going after things that we, on the surface, think we might want, or that society's telling us that we should have or should accomplish, only to discover after years and years, after hard work and everything that comes with that, the stress, the headache, you know, maybe the ruined relationships, the ruined health, we discover that after all, that's not even what we really wanted. So before you go down that wrong path, or maybe you're on that path already, I challenge you to take a step back and decide what you really want out of life. In this video, I'm going to be talking about following the right advice. So the first thing I want you to do is just to cut out a lot of the consumption that you might be doing already. Learning without action gets you nowhere. It's a two-part. You gotta learn, you gotta take action. You gotta learn, you gotta take action. Some people are so far on the spectrum of taking action without ever learning that they get burnt out. You know, they end up at a place where they didn't ultimately want to end up being because they never worked on themselves. For the most part, it's not going to be the people in your office. A lot of times the biggest producers I see in real estate offices just don't have the time to mentor you. And if they do, they might be so overworked that the system that they're going to teach you isn't going to get you what you want, if what you want is ultimate lifestyle, ultimate time with your loved ones. You see, so many agents in real estate are just so burned out, so overworked that they have no idea how to get out of it. So don't be taking advice from somebody who's like that, unless that's where you want to end up. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 7 successful habits for real estate agents, and I think 7 is going to be a game changer for your business, so make sure you stick to the end. So number 1, morning routine. Do you have a morning routine? Of course you do, but is it serving your success or is it stealing from your success? Everyone has a routine. Some just are going through the routine by default instead of by design. So a great morning routine for you is going to be different than maybe somebody else's, but here are some essential items that you could include in your morning routine. So waking up, what time are you going to wake up? 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m.? You got to choose that for you, but what are you going to do once you're up? Are you spending time reading to get your mind right? Are you watching motivational YouTube videos? Are you praying, meditating, journaling? All of these things could be included, or maybe you just pick and choose what works best for you. Then when you're about to start work, your morning routine does not stop when you're about to start working. It actually carries over. So a good morning routine as a real estate agent is practicing your scripts. Do you have role play partners? So ideally, you're a prospecting-based agent because you have a great foundation, you're a professional. You're practicing your scripts for say 15 to 30 minutes, and then you're going right into the actual prospecting. A great book that I recommend for nailing your morning routine is called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And in this video, I'm going to be teaching you exactly what you need to get started when calling expired listings. It's simpler than you might think. It's really just 5 things that I'm going to be covering, and it's exactly the 5 things that I did when I first got started. My first full year in real estate, sold 36 houses, made a hefty 6-figure income, and I'm going to show you exactly the process that I used, or the things that I used to get started with that. So the first one is just having a strong mindset. Now the last 4 are going to be really like the tools and things, but the first one is just a strong mindset. What are you doing to keep your mindset strong? I'm out here exercising right now, getting an evening walk in, sweating. It's one of those things that just keeps my mindset strong. Whenever I'm kind of like in a funk, I know because I haven't been working out, I haven't been reading. So what are you reading on a daily basis? What are you listening to? And what are you doing to exercise? These are all things that contribute to a strong mindset. I put this first because it truly is the #1 most important thing when it comes to having success, calling expireds, or really having success in real estate in general. You're going to need a thick skin. You're going to need to really deal with rejection. When calling, when prospecting, you're gonna have people that are saying no, people that are hanging up on you. So it's crucial that you have a big why so you can deal with that rejection. One thing that I recommend is writing down why you're doing this. What are your goals? What are your income goals? What are your lifestyle goals? How will it change your life? You know, take 10-15 minutes and actually write down these things in descriptive words of how you're going to feel when you accomplish your goals. Put that on your wall next to your prospecting station. Read that before you start your prospecting calls. Create a vision board, a dream board. Put this up on your wall. Be looking at it when you're making calls, because when you can connect the dots, when you can connect the calls that you're making to the goals that you want to achieve, this is when you start to develop that thick skin. This is when every no just gets you closer to a yes, and that's the mindset that you have. You have this winning strong mindset, and nothing can stop you. So the first thing is just having a strong mindset. What's up guys, AJ here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to set more listing appointments. The first thing that agents are doing where they go wrong is just not asking for the appointment enough. If you're only asking once throughout your prospecting call for the appointment, you're not going to set a lot of appointments. It usually takes 2, 3, or 4 times, even more, throughout the conversation to set the appointment. I would actually be surprised if I set an appointment when I asked for the first time. So just know that you need to ask early and often throughout the prospecting call in order to set the appointment. So this is what that looks like. You're going through your script, you have the introduction, and one of the very first questions you should be asking is, if the home had sold, where would they go next? Following up that question could be, and why is that important to you? So for example, if they say they're moving to Atlanta, and then they say it's to be closer to their grandkids, well then you can follow it up with, hey, if I could still make that happen and get you to Atlanta so you can be with your grandkids, say in the next 60 to 90 days, get your home sold, is that something that you'd still be excited about? So now you're setting it up to set the appointment, right? You're asking if they'd still be excited about making that move. And then if they say yes, you follow it up with, okay, great. When can we meet? Would Thursday or Friday work best so I can show you how I can get you to Atlanta in the next, say, 60 to 90 days? So then you do a trial close, you let them pick the day, and then once they pick the day, you ask them which time would work best, say 4 or 6. So you always want to give them 2 options, let them pick one, give them 2 options, then let them pick one. Boom, you got the appointment set. And remember this, oftentimes they're not selling the property if it's an expired because of a condition, not an objection. An objection is why they don't want to list with you. A condition is why they're not going to sell the house now. A condition, for example, could be because some colleges are closed around the US right now, the kids are still at home. They thought they were going to be empty nesters this year, so they're going to downsize the home, but because the kids are taking college courses virtually, they're at home. So now they still need the space. That would be a condition. So learn to recognize what objections are and what conditions are. And when you know that it's a condition, you start to recognize that, move them into the nurture process. So once you know you're not going to get the appointment after closing for it multiple times, simply say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I gotta hop on my next call, but before I let you go, when you go to sell this home next winter, next fall, next spring, whatever they told you, do you have an agent that you're obligated to, or would you be open to interviewing me? What you're doing is you're building your nurture pipeline, your nurture farm, and over time, you're going to have hundreds, if not thousands of sellers who told you that they'll hire you when the time comes. And that's when you start to set a lot of appointments, when you're doing these follow-up calls with your nurtures. So stay plugged in, stay in the game, and I'll see you in the next one.